Hurricane Helene just wrecked your home. Your life's in chaos. And now the IRS wants your tax return? Wait, don't panic. There's a lifeline you need to know about. The IRS is actually giving you a break, but only if you know how to grab it. Let's dive into how you can turn this disaster into a tax advantage. Remember that May 1, 2025 I mentioned? It's not just another day on the calendar for Helene victims. It's your new tax lifeline. But here's the kicker. This extension isn't just for your upcoming taxes. Think it only applies to next year? Think again. The IRS is throwing you a serious bone here. If you're in Georgia and got hit by Helene, they're automatically pushing back your tax deadlines. We're talking about federal tax returns and payments that were originally due between September 24, 2024 and May 1, 2025. That's a lot of breathing room. Now, you might be wondering about your 2023 taxes. Here's where it gets even better. If you had a valid extension for those, guess what? You're covered until May 1, 2025 too. But hold up. There's a catch. Any payments you owe on April 15, 2024, those aren't part of this deal. So keep that in mind. Let's break this down. You've just been handed extra time to get your tax act together. No need to scramble for receipts while you're still dealing with storm damage. Use this time wisely. Gather what you need, take a breath, and tackle your taxes without the added pressure. But what if you get a late filing or payment penalty notice from the IRS? Don't panic. If it's for deadlines within this postponement period, just give them a call. They'll wipe that penalty right off. It's like a get-out-of-jail-free card for your taxes. Here's something else you need to know. The IRS is pretty smart about this. They automatically identify taxpayers in the disaster area for relief. But what if you're just outside the official zone and still got hit hard? Don't worry, there's a lifeline for you too. Just ring up the IRS disaster hotline and ask for help. They're more likely to work with you than you might think. Now let's talk strategy. This extension isn't just about pushing back a deadline. It's an opportunity to really get your ducks in a row. Take this time to gather all your documents. Maybe some were lost in the storm. Now you've got extra time to replace them. Or maybe you need to recalculate some figures based on storm damage. This is your chance to do it right. Remember, the IRS isn't out to get you here. They're actually giving you a break. So don't let this opportunity slip by. Use every day of this extension to your advantage. Get organized, seek advice if you need it, and make sure you're claiming every deduction and credit you're entitled to. Picture this. Your neighborhood looks like a war zone. Trees down, power out, and your house? Well, let's just say it's seen better days. Everything's a mess, right? But here's where things get interesting. While Mother Nature's throwing punches, Uncle Sam's extending an olive branch. Yeah, you heard that right. The IRS, yes, the IRS is offering you a way to catch your breath. Think about it. What if this disaster could actually buy you more time and potentially save you money on your taxes? Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's true. The IRS has some tricks up its sleeve for disaster victims, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use them. Ready to turn this chaos into an opportunity? Let's break it down. Now let's flip the script. You've heard about the extra time the IRS is giving you, but did you know there's a way to potentially lower your tax bill because of Helene? It's not magic. It's a specific tax provision that many overlook. Here's the deal. If you're in a federally declared disaster area, you can claim disaster-related casualty losses on your federal income tax return. But here's where it gets really interesting. You have a choice. You can claim these losses for the year the disaster happened or for the previous year. Why does this matter? Well, claiming these losses could potentially lower your tax bill or even result in a refund. And the IRS isn't rushing you to make this decision. They're giving you up to 6 months after your tax return due date for the disaster year to figure it out. Let's break this down with a real-world example. Say your home suffered $10,000 in uninsured losses from Helene. Depending on your overall tax situation, claiming this on your return could significantly reduce your taxable income. That's money staying in your pocket, not Uncle Sam's. But wait, there's more. If you're planning to claim these losses, you'll need to fill out Form 4684, Casualties and Thefts. And here's a pro tip. Include the FEMA Disaster Declaration number on your return. For Hurricane Helene, that's FEMA 3616EM. This helps the IRS process your claim faster. Now you might be thinking, how do I even begin to calculate my losses? Don't worry, the IRS has thought of that too. They provide disaster loss workbooks, publication 584, to help you compile a room-by-room list of your belongings. This can be a lifesaver when you're trying to estimate and prove your losses for tax purposes. Here's where you need to put on your strategy hat. Remember, you can choose to claim these losses in the year of the disaster or the previous year. This isn't just about paperwork, it's about potentially getting a more favorable tax outcome. Think about which year might benefit you more. Did you have a higher income last year? Claiming the loss then might result in a bigger deduction. But let's be clear, this isn't about gaming the system. It's about using the rules the IRS has put in place to help disaster victims. They're giving you options, and it's up to you to use them wisely. So while Helene might have left a path of destruction, it's also opened up some unique tax opportunities. It's not every day you can turn a disaster into a tax advantage, but here we are. The key is to be informed and act strategically. Think all IRS rules are out to get you? These little-known perks might change your mind. When disaster strikes, the taxman actually has a few aces up his sleeve that could make your life a whole lot easier. Let's uncover some hidden gems in the fine print that most people overlook. First up, let's talk about qualified disaster relief payments. Here's something you probably didn't expect. Some of the money you receive after a disaster might not be taxable at all. That's right, the IRS allows you to exclude certain amounts from your gross income. We're talking about funds you get from government agencies for personal expenses, family needs, living costs, or even funeral expenses, home repairs, or replacing your belongings. Those might be tax-free too. It's like the IRS is giving you a financial cushion when you need it most. But wait, there's more. Remember all those tax documents that got swept away in the flood? The IRS has got your back. They're waiving fees for copies of previously filed tax returns. This is huge if you're trying to piece your financial life back together. Just make sure to include that FEMA disaster declaration number when you request the copies. It's like a secret handshake that tells the IRS you're part of the club. Now let's talk retirement accounts. You know that 401, or IRA, you've been carefully growing. In times of disaster, it might become your secret weapon. The IRS is offering special disaster distributions that could let you tap into these funds without the usual 10% early distribution tax. And here's the kicker. You can spread the income over 3 years. This isn't just about avoiding a penalty. It's about giving you financial flexibility when you need it most. But there's even more good news for your retirement accounts. The IRS might allow hardship withdrawals without penalties. This means immediate access to your funds when you're in a tight spot. It's like having a financial emergency exit that doesn't cost you extra to use. Let's put this in perspective. These perks aren't just about saving a few bucks on taxes. They're about giving you options when your world has been turned upside down. Think about it. Tax-free relief money, easy access to lost documents, and a way to use your retirement savings without getting penalized. These are tools that can help you rebuild your life without adding financial stress. All right, let's recap what we've learned. The IRS is giving you more time to file and pay your taxes if you're in Helene's disaster area. You might even be able to turn this disaster into a tax advantage by claiming casualty losses. And don't forget those hidden perks like tax-free relief payments and easier access to your retirement funds. So what's your game plan? First, check if you're in the official disaster area. If you are, great. You've got until May 1, 2025 for most tax deadlines. Next, gather all your documents, even the ones you lost. The IRS will give you free copies. Then, calculate your losses and decide which tax year to claim them in. Don't forget to use that FEMA disaster number on your forms. Hurricane Helene may have disrupted your life, but it doesn't have to derail your finances. With these tools from the IRS, you're not just surviving, they're finding ways to come out ahead. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your taxes.